Years ago, I had a homie that I met in Houston who was a gang member, been to prison, and now he was what we call in the biz a hardcore gang intervention worker. So he was working with gang members in the streets of Houston, and he pleaded with me very earnestly. He said, "How do you reach them?" And I found myself saying to him, well, for starters, stop trying to reach them. Can you be reached by them? Can you receive who they are? Can you allow your heart to be altered? I remember 40 years ago when I was at Weston School of Theology, as we called it then, and you could take courses anywhere. So I took a course on ministry, team taught by Henry Nouwen and Parker Palmer at Harvard Divinity. And I remember a woman asked Henry Nouwen, "What is ministry?" And he just looked at the woman and said, "Can you receive people?" And I've never forgotten that, because it feels passive, but it isn't. You go to the margins and you look at people in the eye and you say, "Oh, nobly born, remember who you really are." And then you're welcomed into your own truth, your true self in loving. And at Homeboy, the homies will say, we're used to being watched, but we're not used to being seen. And so you see them and you say, "You're here, you're here." And people feel welcomed. And it's exquisitely mutual, because we're all inhabiting in the act of receiving our common nobility and dignity. We're recognizing that we were all born wanting the very same things. In the Christmas carol, "O Holy Night," it says, "Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared, and the soul felt its worth." And yeah, it's a song about Jesus, and yeah, it's a song about Christmas, but how is it not the job description of every one of us? You appear, and the soul feels its worth. Exactly right. And so we notice the notice of God, and we find ourselves connected to the God who comforts us, to the God who was too busy loving us to have any time left for disappointment or anything else. And so in the covenant, God says, "As I have loved you, so must you have a special preferential care and love for the widow, orphan, and the stranger." And these were the people who were left out. These were the people who society at the time looked at and said, "We can live without you." And so we want to go to the margins and say, "We refuse to live without you, widow, orphan, stranger." At Homeboy Industries, we want to imagine something different. We want to be the front porch of the house that everyone longs to live in.